On a daily basis, we are bombarded with all kinds of hardships, be it work deadlines or the vagaries of joys and struggles, of relationships human to human. Hell, even those infinite annual expectations from society's mouthpiece. So well, as we know, challenges bring up some emotions which are not always very easy to deal with. It will make you wonder, what about the people around? For the people in your life, do their energies inspire you or exhaust you? Today we go back to the well of ancient Stoic wisdom and reveal 10 rules for managing your emotions, governing yourself with personal boundaries, and keeping company only that truly reflects you. At the end of this journey, you will find a roadmap to enlightenment that helps you be more resilient and whole during difficult times in your life. But before we go into this enlightening journey, do me a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notifications on. Join our community and stay focused till the end, because these are just empty words. Every day, you can employ these actionable strategies to reframe how you perceive yourself and others from a Stoic perspective. All right, let's get started. 1. Selective compassion. Compassion is like a cozy warmth that brightens up our hearts, showing we care about each other. But it's important to use this warmth wisely so it doesn't fade away in the dark. Selective compassion is like using a flashlight instead of lighting up the entire house. You concentrate where it's most necessary, where you can truly help. Imagine the world is full of challenges and hurts, too many for any single person to fix alone. It's like being in a little boat in a stormy sea, reaching out to those who are lost. If we try to rescue everyone at once, we might end up sinking ourselves. Selective compassion helps us see where we can help without endangering ourselves, keeping the boat steady while we lend a hand to others. This kind of caring reminds us it's okay to say we can't be everywhere at the same time. It's not about ignoring tough situations in the world, but about picking our fights wisely. When a friend needs us, we can show up because our being there truly matters. But for bigger issues we can't directly tackle, we do what's possible, maybe lending a hand from a distance without overwhelming ourselves by trying to solve all the world's problems. Keeping this balance also involves looking after ourselves. We can't give to others what we ourselves lack. If we drain all our energy trying to fix everything and everyone, we'll have nothing left to give. It's like shining a light for everyone else and forgetting to illuminate our own way. So, if you spot someone who needs a hand and you're able to help, step up. You can absolutely be a loving force for good. Just do what you can without pointing fingers at yourself for not doing enough if it is out of your control. Occasionally, the only way we can be there for others is by caring for ourselves initially. Then, when someone does need something from us, we are well equipped to help. Being picky about where we direct our care and love is all about being wise. It is about planting our stake in the land for where we know we will actually be able to help, and at the same time preserving enough of us being good/healthy as individuals so that can keep helping going forward. It is also important to keep in mind that if we take care of ourselves and our well-being, then it will be secure enough for us to do anything that can come against any storm. Our light keeps shining brightly for those who need it. 2. Letting go of toxic relationships. Have you ever reflected on how much the people in our lives shape our experiences? It often feels like we're constantly surrounded by demands and judgments, where every little thing we do is closely watched. However, there is a hidden wisdom that can transform our experience, choosing who we let be close to us. Some people are like serene waters, gently propelling us forward and encouraging our growth. On the flip side, there are those who resemble turbulent storms, stirring up chaos and leaving us feeling lost. The Stoics, ancient sages revered for their wisdom in navigating life's challenges, delved into this concept with great insight. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul. This implies the importance of self-mastery and inner peace regardless of external chaos. It makes us rethink whether the people in our lives are assisting or restraining us. It takes strength to break away from toxic people, We consciously keep and stay with people who really motivate us, bring colors in our lives. Picture it like renovating a house. At times, we need to tear down old, dilapidated structures to create space for something better. Though it demands honesty and courage to part with what no longer serves us, imagine the sense of relief walking through rooms filled only with positivity and support, away from negativity and criticism. Perhaps it's time for some introspection. Consider the voices that surround you. Are they lifting you higher or pulling you down? Dropping toxic friendships is not only an act of self-preservation, it's a sign of your true power and the start to living more consistent, enjoyable days. Remember, the company we keep on a daily basis has an integral effect over the biggest course of your life. Let's be more discerning in our choices. This is an opportune time to evaluate our surroundings, deliberate thoughtfully, and implement the changes that are needed. Ultimately, the fabric of our lives is woven by the companions we keep. So, are you ready to make this deliberate choice? 3. Setting personal limits. Time is a precious asset that grows more valuable with each passing moment, and our energy is a limited reserve. Establishing boundaries is not just a tactic for survival, but a foundational principle for leading a meaningful and genuine life. But what does it truly signify to establish personal boundaries? And more importantly, how does it help us deal with the complexities of modern life? Think of boundaries like the lines on a map marking out the space that belongs just to you, your time, your energy, your feelings. These boundaries are the unseen demarcations that indicate how far we're willing to extend, what we're comfortable with, and when we need to assert our limits. Essentially, they represent self-respect and an acknowledgement of our intrinsic worth. Lacking these distinct boundaries, we open ourselves up to burnout, a growing concern in a culture that extols constant activity. When we are unable to differentiate between external demands and our own requirements, we surrender control over our lives and a substantial aspect of our selfhood. Boundaries are a kind of tightrope, though, an artful dance between generosity and self-preservation. It involves recognizing that if we want to really look after others, then first and foremost, we have to take care of ourselves. Take this quote from Epictetus: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It involves the skill of refusing when required, not out of self-centeredness, but out of the understanding that safeguarding our own mental and emotional health creates a richer environment for all our interactions. Establishing boundaries begins with self-awareness, comprehending your genuine values, recognizing what depletes your energy and what replenishes it. It's an ongoing journey of tuning into your own needs and mastering the art of articulating them confidently. Picture, if you will, the liberating sensation that accompanies boundary setting, the ability to decide how, with whom, and in what endeavors you allocate your time and energy. Then image the peace of mind that comes from living your truth. Reflect on what limits you need to create that are going to preserve your time, energy, and sanity. Keep in mind, setting boundaries isn't about building walls to isolate yourself. Rather, it's about fostering deeper and more genuine connections with others. So, why not begin outlining these boundaries now? After all, the true measure of your life lies not in the tasks you complete, but in the quality of the moments you choose to embrace. Are you ready to seize control and define the boundaries that will shape your path ahead? 4. Sharing thoughts and emotions judiciously. In a world where every word holds the potential to construct or dismantle, to bring together or tear apart, the skill of voicing sentiments and viewpoints with prudence emerges as a guiding light of sagacity. Envision our words as seeds sown in a garden. They have the power to thrive or die just based on how they are taken care of. Cherish and cultivate your words, like a master gardener cherishing every plant in their garden. In this regard, Stoic philosophy serves as a gardener's handbook, offering insights to cultivate our communication amidst the varied landscapes of human interaction. The Stoics tell us this kind of self-control over our minds and responses is not merely an exercise in discipline, either, but freedom. How about being able to choose consciously how you react in situations and not just be pulled along by your emotions or inflexible revulsion? Essentially, having a remote control to your life where you get to pick and choose how much negativity, bickering, or anger shows up in front of the camera, as well as directing yourself back into peace when things start to go haunting. Epictetus wisely noted, "We cannot control the external events around us, but we can control our reactions to them." This encapsulates the core principle of Stoic philosophy, the liberty to respond with wisdom and mindfulness. But why is it vital to moderate the expression of our emotions and opinions? We exist in an era of immediate connectivity, where every thought can be broadcasted to the world in seconds. Nevertheless, the rapidity of our communication should not eclipse the profundity and quality of our interactions. When we choose our words thoughtfully, we steer clear of misunderstandings and needless conflicts, and most importantly, we nurture valuable relationships. Moreover, through inner peace and moving to a knowing first stance makes us powerful models of empathy and light for others in our societies. The power of truly listening and taking on the views, even those that contradict our own, is some blend of bravery and kindness, saying in unison, "We can do this." This can be depicted with an example that most of us come across at least once in a while. You were staunchly opposed to your friend's point of view on, say, any matter. Stoicism does not say you should never challenge someone with whom you disagree. It says that when doing so, do so in a way that tries to come together and understand one another. Instead of creating an ego-driven struggle, we turn our dialogue into a journey for self-improvement and overall enlightening. Ultimately, by embracing this life philosophy, we realize that genuine communication extends far beyond mere words. It feeds on authenticity, vulnerability, and the courage to show up as we are, in our doubts and dreams. In doing so, we honor our voice and open doors for a deeper connection to all those around us. But let us not forget the significance of our words. They have a huge impact, whether they are spoken aloud or just in our mind. Because in life, let us communicate with intention and love, creating a world where empathy and respect kills hate. 5. Embracing moments of solitude. We might get lonely, but the fact that loneliness and isolation can co-occur is bunko for most of us in today's constant one-click connected society. Although solitude is often confused with being alone, in reality loneliness has grave potential threat to our sanity. Solitude is a willful, self-preserving break from the noise and crowding of external life to compel inner sanctum. Loneliness exudes an experience of alienation that one relates not but itself. So why is it that we need to allow ourselves freedom from company in a world of non-stop hustle and bustle? Returning to our authenticity is only solitude can provide, not the walking away from reality type of truth. Think of it as an oasis in the ruckus, a spot you can sort through what passes for thought without any external disruption. It's like a pause from all the loudness to discover who you are. In these times of solitude, you have the opportunity to think about your life and reflect. You may consider the choices that led you down one path or another. Honesty with yourself, what you do well, and areas to improve. You start to face your emotions directly and get an understanding of yourself, which is the gateway for you to cope with them in a healthy way. Practicing solitude frequently enables you to think deeper and reflect more, understanding yourself better as well, having a peace hanging around in the swirl of busy life. It is not about pulling back from the world, but balancing time spent with others and alone. Solitude is when you are the most in tune with yourself and world. You finally learn that having to be alone is not a sign of being lonely, but seeking your own soul for peace and internal self-truth. Ancient philosophers such as Seneca uttered the wisdom that solitude is an instrument for self-betterment. Referring to this, he stated that one of the best moments ever is when you finally find the courage and desire in your heart to let go what once was. Therefore, by tuning to solitude, we can get away of what bothers us and reach peace. In today's world, which is filled with distractions, it has gotten into necessity to indulge in self-care. When we feel lonely, This is an important signal for us to strike a balance between socializing and self. Be present elsewhere more frequently. It is an exploration that allows us to have a better grasp on our thoughts and emotions, bringing you endorphins, an enhanced level of balance in your life. 6. Harmonizing passion and reason. Think of yourself as the captain navigating this ocean called life. The gentle and turbulent currents of this ocean, being our emotions, it takes a strong rudder, your rational mind, to steer this ship safely and successfully. This is the core of the balance between passion and reason. To think with your head to guide your heart, not smothering them into nothingness. Again, reason and passion are the two in a dance. Mapping to this, passion is an energy and a strength that sets the rhythm, and reason, with its steady steps, restrains it from exertions. Having this balance is key, as passion lead unchecked equals anarchy and reason alone leads to a drab life without energy or color. Perhaps both of them should not be compared with one another, rather they should coexist together. Remember the words of great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now. This is important because how we feel is dependent upon our interpretation and reason for experiencing something, maintaining a psychological paradox of needing to balance experience with expression. If we step back and watch ourselves get worked up, then perhaps we have a clue as to why things are the way they are. Maybe next time through the same situation, if it heads south, you will know how not only to keep from getting all bent out of shape, but also what real actions need taken. Put yourself in a position where someone has been unkind to you. It is a natural emotional response to feel that immediate surge of anger, and boy can it be incredibly overwhelming. However, by engaging your rational mind, you can assess the situation more objectively. Was the act intentional or a misunderstanding? Is retaliation the best course of action, or would forgiveness and dialogue lead to a more positive outcome? This is the balance of passion and reason in action, allowing yourself to feel the emotion but guiding your response with thoughtful consideration. It's important to remember that this balance is a continuous practice. It is not being perfect, but at least trying to balance your everyday responses and solutions. Think back to experiences where your emotions may have tricked you or when overthinking has limited you. How could a better balance have changed the outcome? When you combine the forces of passion and reason, it cultivates a life full with meaning. A captain experienced in the ship of life, soul and brain working together to guide him through a sea. Together, these opposites give you the strength to meet trials with clear perception and fortitude in ways that are both heartfelt and wise. 7. The role of routine and habits. Think of it like this. You are planting a garden. The kind of plants that bloom depend on what seeds you sow and how much care, love, or support is provided to them. In the same way, our daily schedule and habits are seeds we plant in our life garden. They just shape our development, immune system, and overall health. A good routine builds a strong backbone. It acts as an anchor, giving you something to hold on to. See it as a framework that can help create the necessary components for a more meaningful and purpose-filled life. It allows us to spend our important time and energy in the right places. Developing positive practices builds the groundwork for lasting success and contentment in life. The meditation on the words of Epictetus. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do, depicting the necessity of actionable intent. By creating habits, we are in effect building a routine, which keeps our actions congruent to the goals that will later be achieved as long as the values remain resilient. It is just taking intentional steps each and every day to becoming the best version of ourselves. Consider the benefits of a morning routine. Attention each morning doing activities such as meditation, training, and recording your thoughts for the day sets you up in a strong and positive place. A time to regroup, set your intentions, and gear up for the next hard slog. On the other hand, an evening routine that encompasses reflection and relaxation allows you to release stress from your day, Appraise how it turned out and bounce back, thus rested for the new day ahead. Good habits are made by being consistent. It is not an immediate overhaul, but rather initial steps coupled with incremental processes resulting in a complete metamorphosis. For example, you can start with 10 minutes of reading per day if you want to build a habit. In time, that small act can blossom into a rewarding and life-enriching habit. We must also realize the very habits that do not serve us anymore. Like cultivating the garden by pulling out weeds, we need to pick up on negative habits and replace them with positive ones. It takes a willingness to be self-aware and grow. Now, think how these small habits would add up throughout the course of your living. These principles will eventually become second nature, and they will unconsciously inform your actions and decisions. These rules make you automatic and disciplined, living in the complexities of life with efficiency. By invoking a routine, we thus develop this fertile environment that is ripe for inception. We become focused, renewed, and more attuned to our true selves. It is a journey of making progress day after day, and an opportunity to plant new seeds or nurture our garden well each time. 8. Understanding the impermanence of life. In its nature, life is change and transformation. This does not just apply to the weather, as one season always turns into another, but also our seasons of existence change. To embrace the impermanence of life, to realize consciously that all is fleeting, and accept it. Now, imagine yourself beside a river watching water flowing by unceasingly. It's like the river never being stable. Solid reminder of how fluid life is. An understanding that is both humbling and liberating at the same time. It is often led by the words of philosopher Heraclitus, with "You cannot step into the same river twice." This is one of those epiphanies that report teasers with do well to point out the end was near before it even began. When we accept this reality, we learn to live life more consciously and serenely. When we embrace impermanence, it does not necessarily follow that our lives will be filled only with apathy and detachment. In fact, it encourages us to do just the opposite, savoring every minute and marvel at what now exists, because one day it will no longer be. It is living a full and integrated life without attaching to the past or seeking solace in fearing tomorrow. Think about a beautiful flower. It blooms and fades, but dies out like fireflies, which is what makes it so precious. Also, because life is fleeting, this allows us to experience happiness and gratefulness in the present moment. So now, am a calling to live wholeheartedly and on purpose. Recognizing impermanence helps us to take inevitable bumps and obstacles in stride. When things are tough, we can tell ourselves that this too will pass. No. Think of this as a way that can give you comfort during tough times, with power, knowing things like these are temporary. Think about your life. What effect do you think realizing impermanence has on your way of looking at life? Maybe it has helped you learn to detach or accept things a little easier. Accepting this reality can bring peace and satisfaction in the long run. Recognizing that life is naturally impermanent can help us to avoid suffering and anxiety. We learn to ride the currents of life, accepting change with serenity and understanding. This is how we live every single day like it might be our last, and have the opportunity to effect truly powerful work with each other. 9. Fostering gratitude and mindfulness. Gratitude and mindfulness are twin pillars that hold up the beam of a balanced, purposeful life. As a complement to each other, their presence grounds us in the now, allowing gratitude for all that we truly have. Gratitude is simply acknowledging the good that already exists in our life. Here, what we have to do is change the way of our thinking and apply it from lack perspective to gratitude mindset. Think of it as a bubble magnifying the good things in our lives, or maybe even as just seeing light at the end of this very long and dark tunnel, so to speak. Just think of the words of Cicero, who said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest virtue but also a source to all other virtues." This is a reminder as to how powerful gratitude can change your life. Gratitude allows us to enjoy more joy, kindness, and connection within ourselves. Begin by doing a gratitude journal, but also consider to write down a few things you are grateful for every day. These can be everyday, basic events you remember, a warm cup of coffee, or kind words from your friend. By doing so over time, this could ultimately change your mindset and allow you to develop satisfaction in life. Mindfulness, the art of being fully present in the here and now. This is a mindfulness. It consists of observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without valuing them. Take a picture of it as tuning into this present moment approach, with intrigue and an open mind. Mindfulness has us pay attention to the present moment in our inner world and outer state. We learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without actually experiencing them. This realization then goes on to create room for somatic choice, which allows one choose with clarity and calm how they wish to respond in certain situations. Incorporating mindfulness into daily life. Things as basic such as taking a deep breath before you start something or being present and savoring every morsel of food when eating. Those moments of presence add up and help create an overall feeling of ease and balance in life. In this way, we find happiness and well-being in a gratitude-mindful life. Gratitude allows us to savor the multifaceted symphony that is life. Mindfulness keeps our feet firmly planted on terra firma. They do this together by benefiting our overall well-being, allowing us to feel more aligned in ourselves and the world. 10. The journey of continuous learning. Life is a journey of learning, an experience in which we are constantly growing and being. Fittingly, like a river cuts through the Earth's exterior as it glides across landscaped terrain, so too are we molded and formed with every life experience encountered. Your mind is like a garden, and every new piece of knowledge you gather here on Earth, an idea or even theory, is just but one field where seeds planted there are then sprouting to give rise to the fruit, benefit, harvest. But the small choice of nurturing your curiosity and leaving it open-minded grows a rare garden that yields an alluring landscape full of blossoms. Think about what Socrates said, "I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing as well. That is that my own wisdom can be completely questioned." This is indicative of the power, humility, and willingness to learn. It is to remind us that real intelligence consists in sensing how little we know and being open for more viewpoints. Learn with a lifelong attitude. Living life this way means waking up every day ready to learn more. Try something new. Each one of those moments to learn, be it from a book you read, or the course you took to learn something new, even philosophical conversations, is an opportunity for growth. Consider your own experience of moving through the phases. What new skills or knowledge have you acquired recently? How have these experiences influenced your perspective and personal growth? To identify and commemorate these markers can help motivate further discovery that enhances the overall growth. Proactive adaptation and growth-oriented, ongoing learning. It is very essential to learn and unlearn in current world, which is changing at a very fast pace. It gives us the fluidity to adapt, to stay current and supple in the face of life's dynamic movements. Just think of the opportunities that become available to us when we sign up for lifelong learning. We become more flexible. We learn to think of others and contribute positively to their development. Exploring, revealing, and sharing in the enjoyment of discovery is what gives our lives purpose. Deeper meaning that drives us to seek wisdom. Through adopting a continuous learning lifestyle, we choose an eternal journey of progress and joy. Every day is an invitation to experience more, learn more, and live a life of profound meaning and fiery passion. The journey is not to get somewhere, but instead to be the person that you were meant to become. Conclusion. Philosophical thoughts in the modern world. To sum up, all of these philosophical thoughts talked about here are relevant that you can use to get your life right. They teach us to be still, celebrate our divinity and fragility, pick words carefully and sparingly, find wisdom in quiet reflection, blend desire with discipline, being fierce without being bitchy, as Elizabeth Gillespie says on her recent visit, setting a schedule that reflects your life more than control it, or habituating. By weaving these lessons into the fabric of our daily lives, we too can achieve a greater alignment with purpose and fulfillment. We are more resilient, compassionate, and authentic to our core. These deeply meaningful and connected choices are our vehicle for becoming who we truly are, whereby being true to the core of us, we quietly inspire others and silently influence other people's lives simply because we perfectly fit into a jigsaw puzzle world around us. Thank you for being part of this insightful journey where ancient wisdom gets intertwined with the life we lead. Let us continue to discover and grow on. Avidly recommend one of the videos advised on the screen to continue exploring. Until we meet again, do keep in mind, the most significant journey we make is the one towards oneself. Be sure to comment, share, and subscribe to the channel to support the growth and contributions. See you next time.